county by county. I'm cycling through as many places as possible and exploring their relevance to us today. As I approach the impressive remains of Ageberveny Castle by foot, my mind is not focused on cycling to such a degree. As such, I reflect, looking upon this fantastic structure and walking round the outside of this amazing fortress, on the bloody deeds and scandals that have taken place here over the centuries. It was 1175, and William de Braose stood proudly over the body of Cecil ap Dysfunctional of Castle Annalt. In retribution for the death of his son-in-law, Henry Fitzmiles, he stabbed him violently. A continuation screamed of lessening social integrity, and the normal occupancy was starting to cause. It was the start of the attacks of relatives of Cecil that would rock the foundations of England and send shockwaves through to the royal household. Coming to you today from Monmouthshire in Wales, I look upon Ageberveny Castle with awe and wonder. This beautiful castle was built in 1087, shortly after the invasion by a Norman lord. The technology of this semi-feudalistic society was in its infancy, but evolving. Originally of wooden construction, Ageberveny Castle was converted to stonework in 1100 or thereabouts, but only the keep on the western side. Early in the 12th century, the lord in question, Hamlin de Boulogne, built a stone keep for the new priory of Ageberveny, and the present building sits comfortably on its foundations. During the 12th century, the hall remained a timber building though. Boulogne was a harsh and cruel lord even by Norman standards. It is said that he committed acts of extreme violence just for his pleasure alone. It is also postulated that it might be understandable why the peoples of the Welsh marches rose up with such vigour against their new Norman masters, if this was a prime example of a Norman lord. The massacre of Ageberveny was a prime example of this, and stands even today as infamous. It was Christmas Eve when Henry Fitzwalter was killed by Cecil ap Dysfunctional. Cecil proceeded to kill all of the line after this, until there was no male heir to succeed to the castle. Breconshire and Upper Gwent therefore passed to William de Braose. William de Braose decided to avenge the death of his uncle Henry. It was on the date of Yuletide celebrations again that Cecil ap Dysfunctional was asked to attend a feast at the castle. They were then taken by surprise and slaughtered with astounding ferocity. His son was killed simultaneously, and his wife ravaged. Retribution for betrayal to rival even that of European rulers. In 1190, after the massacre, the English fought for control of the Welsh marches on the order of the king. Control was becoming more and more essential if absolute segregation was to be avoided within the royal influence. In 1215, regal annoyance at the matter prompted a visit from him. The massacre of 1175 had attracted much debate over the rule of Welsh lands and the keeping of order. It was for this reason that the castle was eventually endowed to John Hastings, 1st Baron of Hastings, in 1295. The whole castle had been rebuilt in stone in 1233 by the Welsh princes, so it was fit for a new age. The 3rd Baron found the newly fortified castle highly effective during the rebellion of Owen Glyndwr. It was in 1404 an architect, John Newman, described the shiny new gatehouses unimpressive, even though it did the job. Charles I even had a document signed as he approached the castle to the effect that it could not be used by any lords in the conflict. The rectangular hunting lodge was constructed by the 2nd Duke of Ageberveny, Henry Neville, in 1819. Put together during a period of great change and social splintering of occupations, the lodge served as a vantage point and distraction from the savagery of its own past. It was, of course, in the late 18th century that during the crowds, Henry Neville took advantage of the newly found Victorian interest in refurbishing the place and building by building a new hunting lodge and gardens. The country had a habit of transferring their fare into a socially accepted norm. One of the ways in doing this was to admire Gothic and ageing structures. Henry was the second Earl of Ageberveny, and it was described by John Newman again as extremely utilitarian. In July 1992, the castle had been listed a Grade 2 listed building, and it continues to attract the attention of many who visit. It stands today as a monument to the conflicts that continue to fragment and destructuralise our nation between the English and Welsh contingents. Though if you're going to be destructuralised, I can't imagine a nicer way to go. Next time on County Climbs, I look at the fractured groups within the Angevin Empire and how that affected the long-term development of Bodiam Castle, a fortress that was designed to protect and became the splintered edifice of a dying force of arms, creating a new kingdom in the process of delivering salvation to the old.
Right when you want the next one.
Okay. This beautiful castle was built in 1080.
You're going to the
Baron of Hastings in 1295. The castle was built in 1087. Shortly after
No, can't do that. No, I really do feel like we're back at school.
Terrible.